This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Need a website, domain, or online store? Make it with Squarespace. Okay, so here's the situation. I'm going to be holding a workshop in about an hour from now. The room I thought I was going to be in, they switched around, so I'm in this room now. It is not at all set up for the workshop. I'm going to have to do some redecorating. Problem is, another group is supposed to be using this room right now, and they're not here, so I'm not sure if I should start setting up. We're going to give them 10 minutes. Okay, so a development. I printed up these flyers and I hand wrote the new room on them. I'm really scared that no one's going to be here because of the change. So I'm gonna come out here and I'm gonna hand them out. Wish me luck. Okay, so it's been more than 10 minutes. I don't think they're going to show up. I'm gonna try and fix this. Well, that's not good. So here's the deal. I've set everything up. We're about 10 minutes till showtime, and as you can tell, no one's here. You know, I could let this bum me out. I drove all this distance. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do the workshop. The workshop is called 150,000 subscribers in 1 year. Because, yeah, I did that. Let's just give it anyway. Thank you guys very much for coming out. We have a wonderful crowd, and I can't wait to get our workshop started today. My name is Gregory AustinMcConnell, and I am a YouTuber. How many people here, show of hands, have a YouTube channel? Thanks. That's it. Yeah, I didn't have any other footage to end on. So I had this whole video planned out where I would go over everything that happened at the con, but obviously things did not go according to plan. Yes, there were a few earlier workshops during the con where I had a handful of people show up. Thanks, guys. Sorry that the big session we went all out for was a total dud, but who am I even apologizing to? This was a neat experience. It's really hard to translate online audience members into something that's more tangible, and this was sort of an attempt at doing so. Obviously, I'm going to do things quite a bit differently next time. This whole ordeal kind of reminded me of a few years ago when I screened a movie that I had put my heart and my soul into at a local theater, and how nobody showed up, and how discouraging it was, and how it made me question whether I was actually doing something of value or if I was just shouting into the void. And while this had a similar turnout, I realized I'm not nearly as torn up about it. I guess because I'm starting to learn that now I don't need the gratification of an in-person meeting. Thousands, hundreds of thousands actually are watching and enjoying my creations every day over YouTube. And while I will likely never meet even 1% of you in real life, we've been able to have amazing conversations, share like passions, and enjoy each other's company. The original premise for this video was a total failure. I've got to find some way to salvage it. I want to tell you about an awesome movie I watched recently by a fellow filmmaker in Springfield, Missouri. The movie is called Kenya, Until Hope is Found, and the filmmaker is Patrick Murithi. He started this project after the 2007-2008 post-election violence in his home country of Kenya left more than 1,200 people dead and 500,000 displaced. It's a documentary that follows severely traumatized men and women of Kibera, Kenya's largest slum and the epicenter of post-election violence. They all together go through a group workshop called Healing and Rebuilding Our Communities. Patrick made this movie just before the 2013 Kenyan presidential election in an effort to help his fellow countrymen confront unresolved trauma, heal, and prevent another catastrophe. Roger Ebert called it an urgent documentary by a filmmaker he admired, and I share that sentiment. Patrick also made an earlier documentary about the 1994 Rwandan genocide that likewise covers the topics of trauma, forgiveness, and reconciliation. Both of these movies are very tough to watch. They contain some disturbing images, and they cover difficult stories, but the message that they both convey is important, and it's one that applies all over the world. Patrick has no idea that I'm doing this. He probably doesn't even remember me. I met him at a screening of his work in 2012 at the same local cinema where just 2 years later, I would premiere my own movie. His movie is much better. More people should be interested in his movie than mine. It is far more important, so let's make that happen. If you have some time in the next day or two, you should watch it. I put a link in the description. These are the kinds of documentaries, the kinds of movies that matter. And it's often the case that movies that truly matter struggle to find an audience. I might not be able to pack a room in Branson, Missouri for a workshop, but I can, maybe, point my subscribers from all over the world to movies that matter. Yeah, I can be happy with that. Special thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this week's video, even though it did not turn out in any way, shape, or form like I was expecting. They're interested in helping artists, creators, movers, and shakers too, by providing them an easy way to set up a personal online presence. Maybe, just maybe, you want to make something. Do you want it seen? Then in today's day and age, you need a website. Squarespace has tons of beautiful templates to get you started. They're completely customizable, and if you get a little lost in the possibilities, they've got 24/7 customer support. If you want to try it for yourself, go to squarespace.com to get started with a free trial. I think you'll like the experience. And if you need even more convincing, I've got a special offer just for you. When you're ready to launch your site, go to squarespace.com/AustinMcConnell to save 10% on your first purchase of a website or domain. That's all I got.